My mom told me never to trust my aunt. At her funeral I found out why. My mom was sick for 2 years before she passed. In that time she said a lot of things, some made sense, some didn't. Grief does weird things to people even before the loss hits. But one thing she said crystal clear, completely calm, looking me dead in the eyes. Promise me you will never trust Linda. Linda is her sister. My aunt. The woman who showed up to every birthday, every Christmas, every hospital visit with flowers and a smile. I thought my mom was just scared. Confused. Maybe the medication was talking. I promised her. And then 3 weeks later, she was gone. The funeral was exactly what you'd expect. Tears, casseroles, relatives I hadn't seen in years suddenly acting like we were close. Linda cried the loudest. And then 2 hours after we buried my mother, Linda pulled me into the kitchen. She didn't hug me. She didn't ask how I was holding up. She put a folder on the counter and said, "Your mom owed me $40,000. You're the heir. I need it back." I couldn't even speak. I had never, not once, heard my mother mention this debt. Not during 2 years of being sick. Not during conversations about finances. Not ever. Something felt wrong. Something felt deeply, deeply wrong. So that night I went through my mother's laptop. Her emails. Her documents. And I found everything. In 2019, Linda had forged my mother's signature on a personal loan application. She took the $40,000 herself. Used it for a renovation on her house. But she put the loan in my mother's name. When the bank started sending notices, my mother found out. She had 2 choices. Report her own sister to the bank and blow up the entire family. Or quietly pay off a debt she never created. She chose the family. For 4 years my mother made monthly payments on a loan she never asked for. Never told a single person. Never made Linda feel ashamed at a single holiday dinner. She just paid it. In silence. And protected everyone, including the woman who robbed her. The last thing she had energy to do was warn me. And Linda had the audacity to show up at her funeral, crying the loudest in the room, and then corner her grieving daughter 2 hours later asking for more. I forwarded every email to the bank. And then I forwarded them to every family member who was at that funeral. Linda hasn't spoken to me since. Good. Mom, I kept the promise.